Venation is nothing but the process of arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina is called venation. So what are the two types of leaf? One is called the simple leaf, the other one is called the compound leaf. What are the types of pinnately compound leaf? Unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. Hi everyone, welcome back to session 6 of this very important chapter called Morphology of Flowering Plants. Myself, B. Shobha Rani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in the last session we learnt about a very important part of a plant body, that is leaf. So what is a leaf? Leaf is an appendicular structure and it is a flattened structure which is usually present on the stem and branches. All of us know how important this leaf is for a plant. As we know, they are the photosynthetic apparatus of a plant body. And we also know that other than carrying on the process of photosynthesis, it also helps in respiration, transpiration, and also in the vegetative propagation. For example, like if you have come across in bryophyllum, the leaf margin bears the leaf buds which will help in vegetative propagation. Hope you remember the parts of a leaf. The stalk of a leaf is called petiole, which extends further as the main vein called midrib. And also you might have come across the leaf blade or the leaf lamina, thus exposed, or what you call it as the expanded surface of the leaf is called leaf lamina or leaf blade, which has the veins and the veinlets. Hope you remember that particular parts of a typical leaf. So what am I going to study in today's session? We are going to study about veins. So what is venation? What is a vein first of all? All of us know that vein is one which carries xylem and phloem. Vein carries what? Xylem and phloem. What is xylem? Xylem is a water conducting tissue. What is phloem? Phloem is a food conducting tissue. All of us know that two very important conducting or transporting tissues are the xylem and phloem. So the arrangement of the veins and the veinlets is called venation. So what is venation? So here if you see, you can see here, these are the veinlets. These are called as veins. Here you can see in this beautiful picture the different types of venation. So what is venation? The arrangement of veins and veinlets in the leaf lamina is called venation. How do we define the word called venation? The arrangement of veins and veinlets where on the leaf lamina. This whole thing is called as what? This is called as leaf lamina. So the arrangement, here you can see in this beautiful picture how the veins are arranged. Usually we find phloem above and xylem below in a vascular. So usually we find in a vein we find phloem above and xylem below. Right. So what is venation? Venation is nothing but the process of arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina is called venation. But in this beautiful picture you can see a different types of venation. So venation is of two types. Venation is of two types. One is called reticulate venation. The other one is called parallel venation. What is venation? Venation is nothing but the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina. There are two types of venation. One is called reticulate venation. The other one is called parallel venation. What do you mean by reticulate? In the form of network. And the classical example is all dicot leaf. All dicot leaves will have reticulate venation. And parallel, they run parallel. I'll show you. Here you can see parallel venation. And it is the characteristic feature of monocot leaves. So reticulate venation, what do you mean by reticulate venation? The veins are arranged in the form of network. Whereas in case of parallel venation, the veins run parallel to each other. They don't meet, right? So this is the form of network. And the classical example which you can give for reticulate venation is all dicot plants. Then parallel venation is all monocot plants. All monocot plants bear leaves which have parallel venation. All dicot plants bear leaves which will have reticulate venation. Reticulate venation is in the form of network. Parallel venation, it is not in the form of network. The veins run parallel to each other. Now let us see. Here you can see the reticulate venation in the form of network. Here you can see in the form of network. Here you can see the veins are parallel. So this is parallel venation, this is reticulate venation. As I said, parallel venation is a type of venation where the veins run parallel to each other. Here you can see. Here it is a type of venation where the veins are arranged in the form of network, right? Then, as I said, it may be parallel venation as in monocots or reticulate venation as in dicotyledons. Here you can see pinnate venation. Here unilobed and bilobed. Here you can see the margins are serrated. Here you can see arcuate venation, pinnate venation with arcuate veins curving towards the apex. See, here you can see the veins like they go like this. Here several main veins are there. Here you can see it is bifurcated. So these are all the different types of venation. So I repeat, what is venation? Venation is the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina, and there are two types of venation. One is called reticulate venation, the other one is called parallel venation. In case of reticulate venation, the veins are in the form of network. All dicot plants bear leaves which have reticulate venation, and parallel venation, the veins run parallel to each other. Moving on to the types of leaf. Don't you all observe different types of leaves in different types of plants? Yes, of course. Hope you can see this beautiful picture. This is nothing but neem leaves. I think most of you might have come across these leaves, right? These are nothing but what? Neem leaves, which is having medicinal value, which is also, it is worshipped also. Neem plant is worshipped, particularly during the festival of Yugadi. You might have come across, we use these leaves, and it is also having what? Medicinal values. Now let us study the types of leaves. There are two types of leaves. One is called the simple leaf, the other one is called the compound leaf. So what are the two types of leaf? One is called the simple leaf, the other one is called the compound leaf. What is the difference between us? You might have come across hibiscus leaf. Here you can see like this. Here you can see how the leaves are bifurcated like this. Right? So here, what is a simple leaf? This is a classical, typical hibiscus flower is a classical example of simple leaf. So this is simple leaf. What is a simple leaf? A leaf in which leaf lamina is not dissected into fragments. So here it is not dissected into fragments. Here you can see the leaf lamina is divided into fragments. So when the whole leaf lamina is whole, it is not divided into fragments, such a leaf is called as simple leaf. So what is a simple leaf? What are the two types of leaf? We come across two types of leaf. One is called the simple leaf, the other one is called as the compound leaf. What is a simple leaf? A leaf in which leaf lamina is not dissected into fragments. Clear? Classical example, you can take hibiscus flower, hibiscus plant leaf. What is a compound leaf? A leaf in which the leaf lamina is dissected into fragments called leaflets. Here you can see these individual are called as what? Leaflets. These are called leaflets, or there is one more word called pinna. So the leaflets are borne on a common axis called rachis. So the common axis which bears the leaflets or the fragments of the leaf is called rachis. Here you can see this is called as rachis. This is called as rachis. These are called leaflets, as I said, or they are also called as what? Pinna. Right? So what is the difference? You have to understand this concept. Very, very important. In everyday life, we come across these leaves, different types of leaf. But see what a difference we find in each and every type of leaf. So what is it? What are the two types of leaf? Hope you have understood what is venation. What are the types of venation? What is venation? Venation is nothing but the Arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina. What are the two types? Reticulate venation and parallel venation. What are the two types of leaf? Simple leaf and compound leaf. What do you mean by simple leaf? The leaf lamina is not dissected into fragments. Here the leaf lamina is dissected into fragments, and each dissected fragment is called as a leaflet, or it is otherwise called pinna, and the axis that bears the leaflets or the pinna is called as what? Rachis. It is called as rachis. Again, we broadly classify compound leaf into pinnately compound and palmately compound. What are the again? So compound leaf is again broadly classified into pinnately compound and palmately compound leaf. So I repeat, what are the two types of leaf? Simple leaf, compound leaf. What is the difference between a simple leaf and a compound leaf? A simple leaf in which leaf lamina is not dissected into fragments. In compound leaf, the leaf lamina is dissected into fragments, and each divided fragment is called as a leaflet or pinna, and the axis that bears the leaflets or pinna is called as rachis. And again, compound leaf is again broadly classified into pinnately compound and palmately compound leaf. So what is pinnately compound leaf? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged on the rachis on either side. Here you can see this is a classical example for pinnately compound. Pinnately compound. What is here you can see on either side like this, you can see the leaves. See here you can see on either, this is called as rachis, and on either side you can see the leaves. So what is pinnately compound? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged on the rachis on either side. Classical example is neem. So neem leaf is a classical example for pinnately compound leaf. Hope you have understood what is simple leaf, what is compound leaf. Again, compound leaf has been broadly classified into pinnately compound and palmately compound. Let us move on to the types of pinnately compound leaf. Again, based on the number of leaflets, we use the word called unipinnate, one leaflet. So here you can see unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. Moving on to the next called decompound, right? Types of pinnately compound leaf. What are the types here? Unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. What is the difference? But you can see the beautiful pictures, and in everyday life we come across all these plants. And have you ever observed these leaves? If not, please do observe. There's a lot to study in leaf itself. So as I said, the planet Earth is made up of beautiful plants and animals. Already we have gone through the animal kingdom. You might have come across how vast it is, and there are so many concepts to learn about. Right? Imagine even in morphology of plants also, in this chapter also, you come across so many terms and terminology, so many concepts to learn. And on most of the concepts, as I said, we come across like we study it in a book, but we need to observe in our everyday life. We come across all these in our everyday life. For example, drumstick. Drumstick leaf, I think all of us know, we use it in our daily life, right? Leaves are something which is commonly found around us, and they have a lot of it. Like for example, the greens. Soppu, what we call it in Kannada, soppu. We use it for food, right? So each and every leaf has its own value, right? So what is the types of pinnately compound? Unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. The very word itself will tell you. Uni means what? One. Bi means what? Two. Tri means what? Three. Right? So what is unipinnate? You can see the beauty. I'll explain with beautiful pictures and examples. In this type, rachis produces 2 rows of leaflets. Hope you have observed in neem. So here you can see 2 rows of leaflets. Here you can see the 2 rows. Here 1 row, here it is 1 row. It is called unipinnate. So in this type, rachis produces 2 rows of leaflets. Example, neem and rose. Right, on one side you can find that, and the other side you can find 1 row of leaflets. So unipinnate means what? 1 row this side, 1 row this side. So example, you can take the example of neem and rose. Bipinnate, in this type, the primary rachis divides into secondary rachis. So here you can see like this. This is called unipinnate. Like, right. What do you mean by that is bipinnate? See here again it is branched. Here it is again branched. Here you can see that in this type the primary rachis divides into secondary rachis on which the leaflets are arranged. Example is acacia. Here you can see it is again divided. It is divided like this. So acacia. So unipinnate in this type, the rachis. What is rachis? The main axis on which the leaflets or the pinna is bone, right? So bipinnate in this type, the primary rachis divides into what? Secondary rachis, then on which leaflets are arranged. That is example acacia. Then moving on to the third type, that is called tripinnate. In this type, secondary rachis divides into another, that is tertiary. Tertiary leaflets are arranged, and that is called, that is a classical example you can give moringa. Moringa means what? Drumstick, right? ನುಗ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನುಗ್ಗೆಕಾಯಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟ್ರೈಪಿನೇಟ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. If you are carefully observed all these leaves, then in everyday life you will come across, right? So types of pinnately compound leaf, unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. Moving on to the next, a compound leaf, decompound. What do you mean by decompound? I think all of us might have come across coriander. In our everyday life we use in the kitchen, it has great role to play, right? So coriander. Have you ever observed the leaves of coriander? If not, today itself you observe, then you will understand what do you mean by decompound leaves, right? A compound leaf, a decompound leaf in which more than thrice pinnate. So here you can see here you can see one, here also you can see. So in which more than thrice pinnate you can see, more than 3 times pinnate compound leaf you can find, and such leaves are called as decompound. Example coriander, even carrot, right? Carrot grass, even parthenium, if you have observed parthenium grass, there you will observe. And even carrot, more or less carrot leaves and parthenium leaves are look alike, but they are not the same, right? You can take the example of coriander and carrot. Moving on to once again, what are the types of pinnately compound leaf? Unipinnate, bipinnate and tripinnate. In this type, 2 rows of leaflets are produced. Example is neem and rose plant. Here you can see beautiful rose plant. Bipinnate, in this type, the main rachis will divide into what? Secondary rachis on which the leaflets are arranged. Example is acacia. Here you can see the acacia. Then in tripinnate, in this type, secondary rachis divides into tertiary rachis on which the leaflets are arranged. Example moringa, that is drumstick. And decompound, where you find the leaf in which more than thrice pinnate. Example coriander and carrot. Moving on to the palmately compound. So we have come across what? 2 types of leaves, simple leaf and compound leaf. And in compound leaf we have come across pinnately compound. And moving on to the next type called palmately compound leaf. What do you mean by palmately compound? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged at the tip of the petiole like digits of palm. That is called silk cotton. So what do you, like palm leaves, you might have come across palm tree, coconut tree. So on the tip of the petiole you can see the leaflets, you can see the leaves arranged. They are also called as crown of leaves, right? So what is palmately compound leaf? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged at the tip of the petiole like digits of the palm. A classical example is silk cotton. Moving across the types, here you can see the silk cotton. You can see the example. I think in the next slide I will show you all. So what is palmately compound leaf? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged at the tip of the petiole like the digits of a palm. What are the types of compound leaf? Just like there, unipinnate, bipinnate, tripinnate. Here also you come across uniform. Actually, the other name for leaf is foliage. It is also called as, leaf is also called as what? Foliage, right? So unifoliate and bifoliate. Types of palmately compound. So unifoliate and bi. A single, the very word itself will tell you, uni means what? Single. A single leaflet at the tip of the winged petiole. Usually what I come across in lemon. Have you ever observed lemon leaf? If not, you observe it. So you'll see how it is arranged. So a single leaflet at the tip of winged petiole. You can see like this. This is called winged petiole. This is called as winged petiole. What is petiole? Petiole is nothing but a stalk of a leaf. Then bi means what? Two. Two leaflets at the tip of the petiole. Example, Bauhinia, then Hardwickia. Here you can see the two leaflets at the tip of petiole. At the tip of the petiole, you can see two leaflets. That is bifoliate. So what is the second type? Palmately compound leaf. What do you mean by palmately compound leaf? The compound leaf in which the leaflets are arranged at the tip of the petiole like digits of the palm. Hence it is called palmately compound. And classical example you can give is silk cotton. What are the types of palmately compound? Unifoliate and bifoliate. A single leaflet at the tip of winged petiole is called unifoliate. What do you mean by bifoliate? Two leaflets at the tip of petiole, example Bauhinia, or you can take one more example, Hardwickia. Trifoliate. So unifoliate, bifoliate, trifoliate. Quadri means what? Four. Right? Then multifoliate, more than one. Right? What do you mean by trifoliate? Here you can see, observe, three leaflets at the tip of the petiole. You can see, for example, you can take the example of oxalis. So here you can see like this. More than, that is three leaflets. Then here, quadrifoliate, four leaflets at the tip of Marsilia. Four. Here you can see four. Actually, this you can take the example. This is for oxalis. 1, 2, 3. Here this is oxalis and this is Marsilia. Here you can see four leaflets. Here you can see 3. 1. Here you can see 3 leaflets. So this is trifoliate and this is quadrifoliate. Why the word foliate is used? As I said, leaf is also called as what? Foliage. Right? Then multi means what? More than 4. So what do you mean by multi? 5. Here 5 or more than 5 leaflets at the tip of the silk cotton. Already I told you here. This is the tip. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is called multi. Multi means what? More than 5. Here you can see in this beautiful picture. So 5 leaflets arising from a common, as you all know, leaf arises from what? A node, right? So here that common at the tip of the petiole, that is silk cotton, bombax, and one more called alamanda, that is badam. If you have observed all these plants, you will understand what are the types of leaf, what are the types of arrangement of leaves. So moving on to trifoliate, quadrifoliate, multifoliate. What do you mean by trifoliate? 3 leaflets at the tip of the petiole. Quadrifoliate, 4 leaflets at the tip of the petiole. What do you mean by multifoliate? 5 or more than 5 leaflets at the tip of the petiole. All these are the types of leaves. See, imagine in everyday life we come across all this. Have you ever observed all these features? No. But when you study biology, particularly in this chapter of your first PUC called Morphology of Flowering Plants, you will have a wonderful chance of going through all these concepts about leaf. Right? Hope you have understood the concepts what I have explained in today's session about leaf. So what is a leaf? What is venation? What are the types of venation? Then we have come across reticulate venation and parallel venation. Then we have come across the types of leaf, that is a simple leaf, compound leaf into pinnately compound and palmately compound. Pinnately compound again into different types, unipinnate, bipinnate, tripinnate. Then a compound, palmately compound, unifoliate, bifoliate, trifoliate, quadrifoliate, multifoliate, right? All these are the very important concepts to study. There is one more about leaf called phyllotaxy. The mode of arrangement of leaves on the stem is called phyllotaxy, which I will be explaining in the coming session. Hope you have understood all the concepts what I have explained in today's session. So I will be back with some more interesting concepts of this very interesting chapter called Morphology of Flowering Plants. Till then, goodbye and thank you.